at Carl Froch's 168-pound title. We take a real and virtual look ahead to this weekend's mega fight between Manny and Ricky Hatton. And I get my turn. It's my outstanding 8 favorite fighters. There's all that and more on In This Corner with Russ Anber. Hi, everybody, and welcome to In This Corner. I'm Darren Dutchshen, along with the coach. We are glad that you tuned in. Make sure you stay tuned for my outstanding 8. It's coming up a little bit later. It's going to be fantastic, arguably the best one ever.
How can we top that? Now, you know what? When we come on here and there's a bad event in boxing or a bad decision or something wasn't done right, we sit here and criticize how bad boxing was, right?
Well, we try to give an honest depiction of the sport, yes.
Well, this weekend, boxing was great, brother. Boxing was great.
No, it really was. We got some fantastic highlights, so let's get at it. We got an action-packed show. We're going to start with Jermaine Taylor and Carl Froch, and I will say this about Froch. I have a lot of respect for him. He ends up beating Jean Pascal. Joe Calzaghe had relinquished that belt, so Froch ends up claiming the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the world. But instead of tucking himself across the pond like Calzaghe did for all those years, what's the first thing he does? He grabs that belt, he runs right over the water. His first fight in the U.S. against Jermaine Taylor, a former middleweight champ who had beat B-Hop twice. This was not going to be easy, and what a start. Third round, Froch gets rocked.
He gets hurt with the right hand, and look at Taylor move in for the kill. Watch the overhand right coming up right here. Here it comes right over the top. Boom! And for the first time in his career, Froch goes down, Dutchie. Yes. He looks at the corner, regains his senses, but it's Taylor through the first half of the fight, staying behind that jab, using the right hand over the lowered left of Carl Froch.
Rusty, this is the 6th round. How did you have it scored up to this point?
It was a shutout to this point for Jermaine Taylor, including the 2-point round. But as the fight wore on, Taylor's output diminished greatly, and Froch started to come on. Yeah, in the 11th round, it was Taylor trying to fight his way back, but Carl Froch was landing the better, the cleaner, the harder shots, although there was a flurry at the end of this one. This one was going to the wire. But watch this one here. With 55 seconds left to go in the fight, both of them are still trading. Taylor lands a hard right hand. It would be the last good punch he lands in the fight. Watch this. Right hand over the top. That hurts Taylor. And another shot underneath. A debilitating right hand. Taylor goes down. How did he get up from this one? What a shot. His head gets snapped back. He goes down. I didn't think he was going to get up after that shot. With seconds remaining, Froch lands perfectly. Never smothers himself. Watch the hard right hand here. The hands go limp. And this one is all over, brother.
Yep, the biggest victory of Carl Froch's career come from behind. TKO stoppage with just seconds left in the 12th round. I mean, you could not beat this fight. It was outstanding. What does Carl Froch do next?
You know what? The one thing he wants to do is, and they asked him that right after the interview, and he said that he wants to fight Joe Calzaghe. The reason Calzaghe refused to fight him the first time is because, oh, Carl, you're a nobody. You're not a name in the U.S. Let me ask you something now. Is he a name now, Dutchie? Is he a name now? So that was a great performance by Carl Froch. What an exciting, riveting fight.
And Jermaine Taylor, give him all the credit in the world. Most people had him leading. 2 of the 3 judges had him leading going into that 12th round. He just could not close the deal.
No, he couldn't.
Some more highlights to pass your way. WBO junior featherweight champion Juanma Lopez, 24-0, 22 KOs, taking on WBO bantamweight champion Gerry Penalosa. This was a war, too.
What a war. I mean, this was Juanma Lopez is an outstanding fighter, and the courage of Penalosa, I'll talk about it in my soapbox. But you can hear Freddie Roach says, I'm going to give you one more round here. They come out in the 10th, and again, Lopez, the quantity of punches that he threw, over 1,000 punches in 9 rounds of boxing. I mean, that's just incredible before Freddie Roach calls it a night for the brave Gerry Penalosa. What an absolutely intriguing matchup, and what a great talent that Lopez is, Dutch.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Brilliant 9th round TKO for him. Junior welterweight, Lamont Peterson, 26-0, 12 KOs, facing the unbeaten Willie Blaine. Look out.
And Willie Blaine just didn't have the power to keep Lamont Peterson off. Try as he would. Look at that shot underneath. And now watch Blaine kind of complain about his right arm. And the fight kind of got stopped there. Then it got restarted again. But it didn't matter. 7th round TKO win for Peterson.
Yeah, he claims the WBO interim title. Super middleweight, Alan Green, 19 KOs, facing Carlos De Leon Jr. And it's over quick.
Boom! Oh, daddy! That was an old daddy again. That's 2 in 2 weeks. What a left hook land. Again, he hurts Carlos De Leon Jr., moves in. Alan Green with the body shot, another shot over the top. He would go down 2 more times in this fight. Alan Green, a stunning second second round knockout. Dutch.
Yeah, stoppage at the $154 mark of round number 2. Green's 20th KO win. Junior featherweight prospect Antonio Escalante. This guy's got power, facing Gary Stark.
Look at this. You talk about power. That's a leg stiffener, that one. That could qualify as an old daddy as well. There it is again. Vicious right hand over the top. That's power. You're right, Dutchie.
TKO win for Escalante, red-hot super middleweight. Daniel Jacobs, 14-0, 13 KOs, taking on Jose Varela, who was 22-5.
And Varela, look at the way he goes down on his leg there. I mean, that just, boom, watch it over the top, bang! I mean, that just crumbles him right there. Crushing display of power, Dutchie, from Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs, 14th KO and 15 wins. Olympic heavyweight bronze medalist. Deontay Wilder, 3-0, 3 KOs. Guy's like 6'7", facing journeyman Joseph Rabotte.
Yeah, and too much for Rabotte. Deontay Wilder just winging hard, strong shots. We'll get a good look at him later on. Now it's a little too early to tell, taking on guys who have 3-5 records, which is normal at this stage in his career. But we'll take a look later on, Dutchie.
Yeah, Wilder goes a perfect 4 for 4. A few other results to pass your way. WBA middleweight champion Felix Sturm, victorious 7th round stoppage. It was Sturm's 6th title defense.
And Dutchie, WBO super middleweight champion Carlo Balshai successfully defended his title for the first time with an 11th round knockout of a former middleweight champion Marcelino Masso.
Hey, Rusty, how about this? Former 2-division world champion Corey Spinks won a 12-round split decision over DeAndre Lattimore to win the vacant IBF junior middleweight championship.
And it was a heck of a fight and an upset. Unheralded Billy Lyle won a split decision over previously unbeaten John Duddy, your guy. Wow, go figure.
He almost made my outstanding 8. When we come back, it's the Pac-Man. It's Ricky Hatton. Rusty's got a preview. We'll also see an EA Sports fight simulation. You're watching. Welcome back to the show. Steve Molitor looks to be heading to Mexico for a tune-up fight this weekend. It's kind of silly, Rusty. He's scheduled to face Humberto Ruiz in a title eliminator on June the 26th. But according to IBF rules, he cannot participate in a title fight when he's coming off a knockout loss. Now, no opponent has been named for the scheduled 6-rounder.
And Dutchie, listen to this. Junior middleweight contender James Kirkland is in hot water, and he's been scratched from the Hatton Pacquiao undercard in Las Vegas. Kirkland remains in federal custody on weapons charges. The 25-year-old Kirkland was arrested during a traffic stop in his hometown of Austin, Texas, and charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Can you believe
No, I can't. He's supposed to be one of boxing's best young prospects. Former WBC champion Kendall Holt has pleaded guilty to a money laundering charge in New Jersey. Prosecutors say the charge stemmed from drug deals made by his manager, Henry Cortez, in February. The 27-year-old Holt said that he picked up bags of money and delivered them to Cortez on several occasions and admitted he knew the money was from drug transactions, Rusty.
Yeah, that's sad for him. You know, that's a shame, coming off that great performance against Bradley as well. Listen to this. Undefeated 2-time world champion Ivan Iron Boy Calderon of Puerto Rico will make his Madison Square Garden debut on Saturday, June 13th on the Cotto Claudio undercard. Calderon will defend his WBO junior flyweight belt against Rodel Mayol of the Philippines.
The war of words and wardrobe is heating up for the heavyweight title fight between Vladimir Klitschko and David Haye. Look at how big Klitschko looks there. Klitschko still fuming about the graphic T-shirt worn by Haye that depicts the Klitschko brothers with their heads chopped off.
When you see your family member body decapitated and bloody lying down on the canvas, it has nothing to do with sport. It's definitely over the edge, and it's definitely below the belt line, and it's cheap and it's bad, and I feel embarrassed actually that such a person is involved in sport.
Moved up to heavyweight. I've had one fight against Monty Barrett, took him out in 5 rounds, knocked him down 5 times, and now I'm getting in there with the #1 fighter on the planet. I'm not doing that for a paycheck. Paycheck ain't that great. I'm doing it for my legacy. I'm doing it because I know I can beat him.
Well, we're going to find out, Russ. We will. Scheduled June the 20th. Looking forward to it.
And Dutchie, some sad news to pass along. Unbelievably, former WBO heavyweight champion Greg Page has passed away. He died of complications related to injuries suffered in a 2001 fight against Dale Crow. Page, shown here fighting Razor Ruddock, started fighting in Louisville and was sparring with Muhammad Ali by the time he was 15. He was the National Golden Gloves heavyweight champion in '78 and at age 20 and won the WBA heavyweight title in December '84 by defeating Jerry Coetzee, who lost the belt to Tony Tubbs 5 months later. Greg Page, Dutchie, was only 50 years old. Rest in peace, champ.
You know what? Remember him very, very well.
So light on his feet for such a big guy.
To the biggest fight that we've seen so far this year now. Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton. To say that Manny has come from humble beginnings would be a gross understatement. This is a guy who tells a story about how he left his family home in the Philippines after his father actually ate his dog. Rusty, come on. Now he is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, and he steps into the ring with Hatton this weekend. With more on that, Russ has this preview.
So much attention in every mega fight is put on the building, the promotion, and the press conference, the show before the show. And while Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton both qualify as showmen, they are fighters first and foremost. The hitman has always been questioned about his conditioning, a beer drinker who routinely walks around as high as 50 pounds above his fighting weight. But that has rarely been a problem in the ring, where he usually outpunches and outworks his foes to the final bell. He and trainer Floyd Mayweather promised the same for this fight. And he'll need it against the superhuman Manny Pacquiao. Under the eye of trainer Freddie Rhodes, Pacquiao is always in peak condition. A trainaholic who shows up ready for war, no matter what the weight he fights at.
He's in better shape than he was for the Oscar fight. He is a machine, and look for a knockout in that one, believe me.
We'll find out Saturday night if Roach's prediction comes true.
Look at the pack, man. I'm not saying, I don't want to give away my outstanding 8, but...
But you will.
Wink, wink. What do you think?
I think it's going to be an absolutely outstanding fight, matching up two great styles. Now, remember this. Ricky Hatton had a lot of trouble against Luis Collazo, who was a southpaw. Manny Pacquiao is 10 times the southpaw that Luis Collazo is. I think this has the makings of being an all-out war.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Isn't Hatton going to try and come in and hug him and wrestle him to death? Well, that's your opinion. This is how EA Sports sees the fight going down. Early on, it is going to be the speed of Manny Pacquiao, but Ricky Hatton will get to him in round number 4. He'll find a little room on the inside. You think that's possible?
You know what? Sure it's possible. I mean, Hatton at 140 pounds has not been beat. Look at these graphics. I mean, this is almost going to be real life. I mean, they did a beautiful job with this, but I think it's definitely possible, especially early in the fight, if he can take it to Pacquiao. But Pacquiao is just so good, Dutchie, with his hands. He's so good as a southpaw. He takes such a good shot. He's such a tough guy. Both of them, of course, are tough guys. I think the size, obviously, is going to be favoring Hatton, but the overall speed and boxing. So then there, look, EA thinks that Hatton's going to be able to score a knockdown. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't see it. They've got it going into the 10th round. They're going to take him into the deep waters, and then Manny Pacquiao is going to take over in the fight. He'll continue to punish Ricky Hatton, and Manny Pacquiao is going to go on to win the fight. Personally, I don't see it going that long. I think that he cuts him to ribbons with that jab right off the bat, and I think in about the 7th round, this one is over. I don't see it going 11, do you?
Well, it could go late. I think it's going to go anywhere after 8. But I wonder if they made this really realistic. Do they have the British fans singing, "There's only one Ricky Hatton"?
Yeah, they actually do. Right off the top, they do that. He's going to have huge crowd support. He always does. We're so looking forward to that. Some other big fights on the undercard. Humberto Soto against Benoit Gadet. That probably would headline it. Sebastian Demers also fighting this weekend. So, yeah, lots of good action, with the focal point, obviously, being Ricky Hatton and Manny Pacquiao. All right, we have to take a short break, but it's what the viewing public wanted. We have to give it to them, Rusty. It's my outstanding out. That's my outstanding 8. Coming up next.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I gave you my outstanding 8 fighters that I like to watch. Now, in a role reversal, we get to hear yours. Your selection, Dutchie. Number 8.
Number 8 looks like he just ate somebody, and his name makes me laugh every time. He's big, he's beefy, he's meaty. He is Chris Arreola, and he may not be the most clinical heavyweight in the world, but he always comes to fight, Rusty. 27 wins, 24 KOs.
Number 7, Dutch.
Lucky number 7, Michael Katsidis, the Aussie who will punch with anyone. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't so lucky the night he stepped into the ring with Joel Casamayor and Juan Diaz. He may not be a champion, And his chin might be suspect, but he's always there.
Number 6.
Big Bad Chad Dawson, a 6'3" southpaw who's as smooth as honey. He's never lost a fight as a professional. Not only is he the best light heavyweight in the world, he might have the best skills in all of boxing.
Number 5.
It's fireworks. Your boy, my boy, Yuriorkis Gamboa. They say you can't walk off the island, and he didn't. He fought his way off. The former Cuban amateur just wants to knock everybody out, and eventually it is going to cost him, but his first 15 fights have been fun.
Number 4.
Juan Manuel Marquez. If he was a woman, Rusty would marry him. Great combination of skill, talent, and heart. He got off the canvas 3 times against Manny Pacquiao in the first round. It ended up with a draw. He is some kind of tough.
Number 3.
Thomas Adamic, the Polish puncher. The man has a beard. He eats punches like candy, and he keeps coming forward. Every fight's an action fight with this guy. He made the biggest jump you can make in boxing, going from light heavyweight to cruiserweight, and he's still a champion.
Number 2.
Israel Vasquez. He's only 121 pounds, but look out. 43 professional wins, Rusty. His 3 fights with Rafael Marquez, all classics. The man is a boxer.
And Dutchie, you're number 1.
Who else? Manny. His father ate his dog. He went from being a one-dimensional, one-arm fighter into the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world today. He's beaten Oscar, who's a Hall of Famer, Marco Antonio, who's a Hall of Famer, Juan Manuel Marquez, who's a Hall of Famer, and Eric Morales, who's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Gamer. He's my guy, Manny Pacquiao.
Russ Anber's Outstanding 8 is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new French dip for only $3.99. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Boy, I should do that segment every week. It really was outstanding this week. For more, let's go to Russ. He's on his soapbox.
Well, many fight fans eagerly tuned in to watch the Carl Froch Jermaine Taylor super middleweight matchup last Saturday. Over 10,000 strong turned out in Bayamon, Puerto Rico to watch the emergence of maybe the fastest moving comet on the horizon of professional boxing. In front of his hometown fans, Juan Manuel Lopez once again put on a display of his immense talent as well as his exciting knockout style. Affectionately known as Juanma, Lopez accepted the challenge of one of the bravest warriors I've ever seen in Gerry Penalosa. Known as Fearless, Penalosa was moving up from the bantamweight division where he held the WBO title. Prior to that, some 10 years ago, Penalosa captured the WBC super flyweight crown. With that startling pedigree and 62 professional fights under his belt, Penalosa brought his immense heart and world-class skills into the hostile ring against a powerful world champion. Notably the smaller of the two, Penalosa absorbed some huge and punishing shots from the powerful Lopez. Another example of world-class came from the Penalosa corner, where Freddie Roach tried his best to supply Penalosa with everything he needed to capture another world crown. Roach, like Penalosa, was a hard-nosed warrior who pushed himself to inhuman limits. Sadly, he was unable to find the necessary recipe to capture victory. In a rare act of honesty, Roach, knowing that victory was lost, gave his brave charge one final chance and one final warning. I'm giving you one more round. If you don't knock him out, I'm stopping the fight. While Penalosa tried his best to end matters, it was Lopez who was by far the stronger of the two. True to his word, Roach put an end to the courageous effort. And finally, a quick word on the super middleweight champion of the world. It truly was our pleasure to sit down and talk with Carl Froch last week. His genuine sincerity came through as much in the interview as it did in the ring this past weekend against Jermaine Taylor. While through his own admission, he's still learning his trade as a fighter, I think it's plain to see that the heart, honor, and excitement that Froch provides is definitely worthy of a world title. So on another great weekend of boxing, separated by thousands of miles, fans the world over were privileged to see firsthand courage, compassion, and excitement right before their eyes. Dutch!
All right, Punchy, coming up next, it is your final flurry. Russ will answer all your questions.
Thinking Arby's.
Welcome back to the show. Nice drive with the soapbox. That was a tough act to follow, my friend. There's the bell. Final flurry. First question comes from Bobby in Regina. What's your prediction? Pacquiao, Hatton.
You know what? I almost let the cat out of the bag when we were going through that EA stuff because I wanted to say what I thought. But, you know, the Filipino community, because he's not fighting Juan Manuel Marquez, is not going to be upset with me because I have to go with Pacquiao on this one. And like I started to say, You know, when Hatton had trouble against Luis Collazo, even though he won the fight, I thought he lost the fight. They fought at 147 pounds. He fought a southpaw. Looked terrible against the southpaw. There's no better southpaw right now than Pacquiao. And you know what? He's got that debilitating left hand, the hook. He boxes. He's fast. And you know what? Even though he's coming up in weight, I like speed. And, you know, I have certain fighters that I know when I put them in with bigger guys, they perform better because they're so much faster. So I like Pacquiao, and I think he stops him anytime after the 7th round. I don't think it goes the distance.
Nice. You and I are on the same page on that one.
Pacquiao's great.
This next question comes from Ivan. He wants to know, what do you think of Juanma Lopez? Would you put him in there with Israel Vasquez, Rafael Marquez, or Celestino Caballero?
You mean, do I think he's ready?
Yes.
I think the question should be, are they ready? Because this guy is for real. I love this kid. I think, and you know what? I don't know. I think now, based on the performance against Penalosa, you know, how he didn't make either of our outstanding 8. That I said in the soapbox, he is the fastest rising comet on the horizon of professional boxing, and I truly believe that. I think this guy is pure excitement. In 9 rounds of boxing, Dutchie, over 1,000 punches. And now this isn't 1,000 pitter-pat punches. This is 1,000 punches of 900 of them were to knock you out.
Right.
This guy throws.
Oh, hey, he might make my outstanding 8 eventually.
Yeah.
What did you think? This is from Jimmy. He wants to know, what did you think of David Haye's antics outside the ring with the T-shirt with the severed heads of the Klitschkos? Do you think he's earned his title shot?
You know what? Forget about whether he's earned the title shot or not, because the heavyweight division is in such disarray right now. It doesn't really matter. Guys get title shots. I don't care. But you know what? There does become a certain line that you just don't cross. And showing that, and I'm not a huge Klitschko fan, but you know, I hate that stuff. You turn around and try to do something so outrageous and almost a promotion of violence and criminality, even though I know it's only on a T-shirt. The depiction of such things, to me, just goes beyond what sports should be. And he thinks he's talking himself into a fight, and because of that, you know, it's promoting the fight. I think there's a certain kind of class that you have
liked
to
what
keep
Vladimir
among
said.
yourself. Yes, I did. You know what? And I don't think that if you want to win with your hands, fine. If you want to get a title shot, if you want to get a title shot because you're good, that's fine. If you want to say you're going to knock him out, that's good. You don't have to resort to such classless displays of violence that you wouldn't even sell that shirt. You know, it wouldn't even be something that would go up on sale because we'd say it depicts violence, you know? I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm with you 100%. We'll see what David Haye's got. He's a talented fighter, but now he's taking on a true heavyweight. Make sure you join us next week. We've got Manny, Ricky, Hatton covered. Thanks for watching.
Russ Anber's Clothing by Pellegrino Castronovo.